Welcome aboard, we are live. You have joined us on the Blue Plate Special. I'm Andy Andrews, we're in Orange Beach, Alabama. Beautiful downtown Orange Beach on a sunny day here at the Wharf, home of the famous escalator statues. Man, I was running. We got a great show for you today, but I just finished getting it together. What are you doing, Matthew?
I was just centering you up a little more.
Are you centering me? You usually tell me to move.
I think it was the camera's fault this time.
Oh, it was the camera's fault this
Or
time.
the cameraman's fault.
Oh, the cameraman's fault. Wow. Since it's a remote camera. Little M, do you mind getting me some water or something? I usually have it, but I was right. I was so dedicated to writing this incredible show that I almost didn't get out here in time. Man, I'm coughing. Hey, click that notification button. Just, in case you want to. And please share. All right, we are on the regular kind of social media. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We are on the regular kind of social media today. Thursday will be exclusively on wisdomharbor.com. Wisdom, HARBOUR.com. And if you haven't joined, you need to. You need to. I mean, it's incredibly cheap. It's incredibly worth it. Marcy, man, I can't talk. I'm Marcy Crosser Taylor. Good morning. So you love the professional noticer today. Excellent. We had General Woolley, and he's the first special ops general that I worked with for 3 years. And General Woolley and his wife, Kathy, were on the show. And I always think of her as Mrs. General Woolley because the boys, when they were young and we would visit over there, they would say, are we going to see General Woolley and Mrs. General Woolley? Yes, we are. We are. And so they were on the professional noticer. It was a kind of a funny show and a touching show. They told a story about an incident that happened and just pretty amazing. Deborah Richardson, good afternoon. Margaret Davis Holt, good afternoon. Sunny Northeast Mississippi. I bet it's cold there, isn't it? Catherine Geisler from Alabama. We've got a whole studio full of people. Where's Pam from Michigan? Pam? Hey, Pam from Michigan. Where are you from? See, people are right there. People do that with Michigan because if you look at a map, Michigan is shaped like a hand. And so people from Michigan say, I'm from there or there. And I wonder, do other states do that? I wonder, does anybody from California go, I'm from Sacramento, right here? Or people from Italy, I'm from Rome. I'm in Rome. Anyway, I was just curious. Val from New York, where's Val? Hey, how are you doing? From New York. Debbie from Michigan? Michigan, wow. Okay. You guys are enjoying, now where in Michigan are you? Just a little lower, okay. Just more in the crease. More in the crease of Michigan. Okay. Sue and Wally from Iowa. Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Good to see you. Audrey from Illinois. Audrey. Sandra and Tripp from Mississippi. Hey. Now, I'm glad my wife is not here because if Polly was here, you guys would be talking and we would never get a word in edgewise. She's from DeKalb. Do you know where DeKalb is? It's the land time forgot. There's still dinosaurs walking around in DeKalb. I mean, the first time I ever went there, there was a sign that said, welcome to DeKalb, set your watch back 50 years. So, I'm just kidding. She'll probably kill me, but she's not watching this. Steve and Pam from Iowa. Hey, where's Steve? Where's Steve? Oh, you got your arm around. Steve is invisible. Okay, all right. Aaron. Hey, Aaron. How's Chris? Okay, from Arkansas. Good to see you guys. Eva Jean Hodge from Elkin, North Carolina. I'm glad you enjoyed that interview with the Woolies. I am really glad you did. Serena Stoll Garner, good afternoon from Arkansas. Another Arkansasian. I don't know. Deanna Gilbert from Wisconsin. How cold is it in Wisconsin? Deanna Kilpatrick, good afternoon. Here he comes. Here comes your husband. Yeah, okay. Joy Yarber Turner. Hey, good to see you, Joy. Thank you very much, and look forward to having you visiting. Christy Woods, my sister, has shared. Thank you, Christy. Nadine Sanders Roberts. Hello and shared. How you like the shirt? The shirt is from Sand Dollar Lifestyles, the cornerstone of the wharf, and it's an awesome store. Kevin Tim Perkins, old man's here. Good to see you, buddy. Are you over the COVID? You know, Marta's got the COVID. Some people, have you noticed that some people get COVID and some people get the COVID? Have you noticed that? Yeah. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I think it's a different variant. You know, there's the Omicron and the Delta variant, and then there's COVID, and then there's the COVID.
I find that usually people who don't use the internet a lot or don't spend a lot of time on computers put the word "the" before stuff.
Okay.
Like, I don't do the email. Like,
right, yeah, there you go. And have you noticed that in England, they don't use the when, I mean, if you watch the BBC, you'll see that they don't use the when we do. Like, I'm having to go to hospital. I'm having to go to hospital.
I'll have to watch out.
I'm having to go to hospital because I have the COVID.
So send someone the email.
Yeah, Francis Kraft, great professional noticer this morning. Thank you very much. If you're not getting the professional noticer in your inbox on Tuesday, just go to andyandrews.com/VIP and put your email address in, and then the professional noticer episodes will come right to your inbox on Tuesday mornings, and I would love to have you join us. Gene McDonald. Gene, when are you coming down? When are you coming down here? Gene McDonald. If you don't know who Gene McDonald is, go on YouTube and just put in Gene McDonald, Gene McDonald, and he's an incredible bass singer, incredible. Jeff Schofield from Florida, Wesley Hampton. Hey, one of the captains from Wisdom Harbor. Hey, Wesley. Wes, we're waiting on some more cooking stuff. You know, I mean, I hate to put you on the spot right here on the Blue Plate Special, but we're waiting. Okay. Denise Forbes, greatly enjoyed the professional noticer this morning. You just wait till you hear what we're going to talk about. We're going to get fired up here. We're going to get on a soapbox and a rant. Hey, Heather Olson in Utah, and you shared. Thank you very much. Oh, George Cosser checking in from Kemper County. Yeah, George Cosser. You know, we were talking about, now, where in Mississippi are you from? I know it's not the Hand, but like, you're in North Mississippi. Okay, the Cossers are from Senatobia. And do you know the Cossers? Hey, George, they know you. They know you. We were talking the other night, we were telling somebody about a picture that Polly sends around. Wes Hampton, you sent 2 videos 2 days ago?
I got one of them. I'll have to check with SB. Maybe they went to Dropbox or something.
You didn't tell me.
I didn't know you didn't know.
Okay, but Wes says he sent 2.
I'll follow up.
All right, we'll follow up. We'll follow up, Wes. Man, here, I'm supposed to be the boss, and I didn't even know. What kind of boss am I? Not a very good boss, I guess.
Nah, you're the best.
Evidently, I'm not the boss of you. What was I even talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Weren't you? I don't know. Were you asking someone where they were?
See, you're not even paying attention either. Oh, I know what I
I'm
was saying.
filtering comments.
I was talking about Mississippi and how we were telling somebody the other night about what happened in DeKalb. This is I don't know. It wasn't too long ago, but Polly sends this picture around every Christmas in DeKalb. Now you got to understand, in Kemper County, I know you probably wouldn't think there is a place in the United States like this, but in Kemper County, in the entire county, not just the town, in the entire county, there's not a single stoplight. I mean, that just blows my mind. But there is the Courthouse Square in DeKalb, Mississippi. Yeah, the Courthouse Square. And you can walk to the Courthouse Square from Polly's parents' old house. And one of the first times I went down there, we walked downtown, and we were walking downtown, and it's like 7 o'clock in the evening, and there's a jacket laid across an air conditioner that's coming out of a window in a downtown store. And I said, somebody left their jacket. And Polly said, oh, that's Bull Cole's jacket. What's that? I mean, she hadn't lived there in like 3 or 4 years at that time. I was like, how do you know? She said, well, Bull Cole, if he comes to town and it's too warm for his jacket, that's where he leaves it. Okay. Gene McDonald says his family is from Union County, Mississippi. So anyway, Polly took this picture in a courthouse, the courthouse square. They were having the Christmas parade, and then we hear carolers, and we turn, and there's like about 30 carolers on the courthouse steps, and they are dressed in striped uniforms with striped hats on. They let the prisoners out, and there's a guy that's in stripes, and he's directing them. And the prisoners are singing Christmas carols to everybody there, courthouse steps. It's about 30 of them. I'm telling you, this is just, I mean, you've not seen anything like this. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And one day I'm going to have to do a DeKalb show. I'm going to have to do
That'd be great.
a Blue Plate special, and I'm just going to tell you all about DeKalb, Mississippi.
We'll bring the green screen down. We'll put dinosaurs behind you.
Yeah. Bring the green screen down, put dinosaurs behind me. Okay, here's what I want to talk about today. As you know, this cancel culture is getting just a little bit out of hand. It's just getting kind of crazy. And, to me, if something gets crazy, the best thing, well, my first deferment is to ignore it. And then my second deferment is to make fun of it, I guess. Because it's like, really? This is what you're spending your time thinking about? But then, of course, some of it has serious repercussions. I mean, we're taking this show onto our own platform, onto wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, HARBOUR.com. It's there already on Thursdays, but soon it will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, only on wisdomharbor.com. And wisdomharbor.com has like 18 captains that deliver content. They're 5 and 6 minute videos, audio stuff, written stuff, and these are Grammy winners. Wes Hampton, who's watching right now, Wes has won Grammys. Grammy winners, best-selling authors, comedians, CEOs, master chefs, coaches, and they're delivering this content. And this for families, for students, for teachers, for businesses, and we're having a blast putting this together. But we need your help to just spread the word. But it has become like we detailed last. I think, when was this? Last Thursday that we talked about Dave?
Maybe last
Thursday or Tuesday?
Last Tuesday?
I don't know. We had a thing where, Dave Ramsey gave us a thing where he said, Wisdom Harbor is good for your team, for your family, for your business. Wisdom Harbor, HARBOUR.com. Join now. And that's what he did. And so we pushed that on Facebook. Well, Facebook rejected it. And they said because it was discriminatory. And we're like, well, they must be, that somebody's made a mistake. So let's put it out there again. And so we put it out there again, and they rejected it again, Facebook and Instagram. And so, and we said, can you tell us why it's discriminatory? And so they gave us this whole paragraph about Seb, good morning from Melbourne, Australia. What time is it in Melbourne? Anyway, I'm glad you're here. But stay awake through the show because this is fixing to get good, Seth. Okay, so anyway, we put it out again. They rejected it again, and then they sent us this long thing about discriminatory against any creed, color, race, ethnicity, gender, financial situation, clothing that you wear, whether or not you eat oranges. I mean, it was just crazy. It was crazy. But the bottom line is they rejected it and they would not play Dave Ramsey saying that. And so I thought, okay, now wait a minute. He's not saying anything about anybody or anything. And so they wrote down exactly, Lil M and Matt wrote down exactly what Dave said. And so I recorded it saying exactly what he said, and we put it out to see. And of course, they accepted it. So it wasn't the words, it's Dave. Because Dave's a big deal, and they know what Dave believes. And so, he's a believer, and so, we're not going to let Dave talk. It's discriminatory to let Dave talk. It's gotten crazy. And so then, this past weekend, Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast in America, in the world, actually. It has 11 million viewers and listeners per episode. And so to give you an idea of how big that is, if you took Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC combined, it is not as big as one Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, that's how big that is. I mean, in today's world where the audience share has just fragmented because of so many channels and everything. I remember when I used to be on the Nashville Network in the 90s with Ralph Emery, we had 4 million people a night watching that show. And that was considered a very small audience. But today, that's a huge audience. But Rogan has 11 million people watching and listening. And so he's having people on and just interviewing them, and he's not doing a time limit. There's no, okay, you got to be on and off in 30 minutes. I mean, when I've done Good Morning America, it's like 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes. And of course, Robin has to talk a little bit, and then I'm supposed to get my message out in 3 minutes. But Rogan will have his guests on, and there's some podcasts that are 2.5 hours long. I mean, he's having a conversation with them as long as there's something to say and as long as it's interesting. And it's obviously interesting because that many people are listening. And so, but he's having people from both sides of the aisle on. And having people on both sides of the COVID argument. He's having people on that say you got to have masks, and people say you don't need masks, and they're all different. It's just a platform, and so there are people that are wanting to cancel Joe Rogan for misinformation. Now, misinformation, that's a pretty arbitrary word, because as Joe Rogan pointed out 3 months ago, if you said you can be vaccinated and still spread the COVID virus, you could be canceled for misinformation. But now they know that that's true. Okay, so when I look at this, I think, how do you get to what is true? Well, you get to what is true by an open conversation. That's how you find what is true. It's not that just one side just declares this is what it is and everybody has to abide by it. That's not America, right? I mean, we're supposed to be able to comment back and forth and talk like our parents did on porches with people that they disagreed with, but they disagreed agreeably. And so we were able to talk to find the truth. But, today it's like, nope. And so there are people that want him off the air, and they will do anything that they can do to get him off the air. Now, I don't know Joe Rogan. I've not been on Joe Rogan's show. I've watched a couple of pieces. I don't think I watch anything for 2 hours and 30 minutes, but I've seen a couple of pieces of things that he's done, but these people want him off the air so badly that over the weekend, somebody went way back in his archives and they found episodes where he was not calling anybody the N-word. He was not saying that to call it to anybody or not using it even as a joke. He was having discussions with people about that word. Well, whoever it was that went in, edited this tape and took out just the second where he says the word, and then took out another second where he says the word, another second where he says the word, and they put it on YouTube with it just saying, and you see Joe Rogan just saying the N-word over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's totally out of context. It's totally made up, but here is. But I was pretty amazed. I mean, you and I would be pretty aggravated if somebody did that to us, because you could take any conversation and just take a snippet out of it and say, this is what they said. With modern editing techniques, I mean, you could say, I don't like liver. Well, Matt could take that and edit that to say, I like liver. And you would not know the difference. I mean, we have times on the podcast where we'll have somebody will mispronounce a word, or there will be they'll say mispronounce a word, because that's happened several times. So we don't, if it's real noticeable, we don't want anybody to be embarrassed, and so we'll go back with them and we'll say, hey, let's record you saying that word again. And one of the words is what? Legume. Mm-hmm. That was one recently. Somebody had said a legume, and the word is pronounced legume. And so they said it 3 times. And so Matt just went and said, here, just say that sentence with legume in it. And so Matt took out legume. I mean, he's got the digital display, and he took out legume and put in legume, and the lips, everything. I mean, you can't tell. You can't tell. And so editing can do anything these days. And so, but the way Joe Rogan responded to that, I thought was very interesting, because, you know, you see people that they either just totally collapse and I didn't mean to do anything, I'm so sorry, you see people totally collapse, or they just double down and say, But Rogan, I thought, had a very interesting way of coming back with that. He was very serious, and he said, you know what? He said, that was edited. Anybody can see that was just edited with me saying that word over and over again. He said, but it did not look good to me. He said, I have never said that word in a racist way because I'm not racist. He said, but I've said it in conversations trying to examine the situations, and he said, but taken out of context, that's that word coming out of my mouth, and I didn't like what I saw, and so I'm not going to say that word ever again for anything now, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, he just had a real rational response to that. Okay. But listen to this. So when that video comes out, people have been trying to cancel him because of the misinformation on his show about COVID. Now, he's just having guests that are on both sides of the topic. I mean, he's letting us get the information. And so he's having guests with both sides of it. But there are people trying to cancel him. And so The Rock, you know, the wrestler, The Rock, the actor, The Rock, The Rock sent a Twitter tweet thing to Joe Rogan that was very public, and it said, hey, you know, keep on, you're doing great, keep fighting the good fight, and you know, I'm with you, maybe we can get together soon. And so that was blasted all over the media that The Rock is supporting Joe Rogan. Okay, so then Don Winslow, who is a New York Times bestselling author of thriller books, Don Winslow sent a public message to The Rock, all right? And it said basically, buddy, I know you are sensitive to the needs of many people, and I wanted to make sure that you were aware of this Joe Rogan video that has just been put out with him saying the N-word. Here it is. So you just watch it and so see what you think. And so that was public. So then The Rock backs up And he goes, well, I never saw that. And if that's the case, man, then, that's just what, I never saw that. I didn't see that. And so, I'm not, no. And so then somebody else comes in and they said, hey, Don Winslow, who is spreading this thing about Joe Rogan saying the N-word, and they screenshotted 57 times in his books that he has written the N-word. And then somebody came up with something from The Rock in when he was wrestling, acting like an Asian, like a Chinese person, and then that went nuts. So I'm just saying, people are nuts. They're just nuts, and so you and I have got to just float lightly, and I think that we've gotten to the point where it's impossible to ignore because it's just in our faces all the time. And so I think we've gotten to the point that we just need to make fun of it. I think, I told my wife a long time ago, there's old jokes about celebrities who have died, and there's jokes about them that are bad taste jokes, right? And not that I'm any kind of celebrity or anything, but I told my wife a long time ago, I said, if I ever get like well known and I die in some goofy way and you hear some joke about it, that's fine. Just let people laugh. Don't be, what are we going to be offended by? Just laugh. If somebody tells a goofy joke about how I die, it's not going to bring me back. It's not going to bury me deeper. It's not going to change where I am. And somebody can either be mad or they can laugh. This is why I wish I had the book here with me. There's a book by Ben Raines that is out. It just dropped. It just released, and it's called The Last Slave Ship. And it is about the discovery of the last ship that brought slaves into America, the Clotilda. And Ben Raines is the one who found it. It was 160 years ago that it brought the last people from Africa into America. It was, and so he has written this book, and it is a brilliant book. I read this whole thing, and I got to tell you, most books that detail something like that, I have come to expect the story about what happened and the story about what happened because of what happened. And then the ending is kind of like, you see? You see what they did? Now you see why we're mad? So shouldn't you be mad? Shouldn't everybody be mad about this? That's why we're mad. And we did get other people to read this book so they can be mad. That's what those kind of books are usually like. But this book is not like that. This book, The Last Slave Ship, Ben, and you can go back on the Professional Noticer and see my interview with Ben Raines. But this, thanks. Here's the book. Okay, this The last slave ship, the true story of how Clotilda was found, her descendants, and an extraordinary reckoning. And so this book is not like what I just described. This book details the capture of the slaves by their own people and the sale to the ship's crew. And then it details the trip over, it details the selling and what happened. They got there just before, the last one was just before the Civil War started. So they were freed in like less than 5 years. But they started a community over near Mobile called Africa Town. And to this day, I mean, I went by there yesterday and took a picture of the chimney that is still standing from one of the original guys. And so Ben has met the descendants, the grandchildren, and then he has met the grandson of the captain who drove the ship. And Ben is the one, after people had looked for 160 years, because the people who brought it in, they sunk the ship and burned it to the water. And so people knew about it, but they have been looking for it for 160 years. But Ben is a guide in the Alabama River, Tensas Delta, and he found it. It took a year for it to be verified, but it's the actual Clotilda. And so Ben has gotten together with the great-great-grandchildren of these people who are actually brought over from Africa, and the great-great-grandson of the ship's captain. And these people have gotten together, and they have forgiven each other, and they've cried, and they've hugged. And I think this book is very important, because the only thing we have, the only opportunity we have to move forward is forgiveness. That's the only opportunity we have. Because if I'm just gonna be mad at you because of something your great-granddaddy did to my great-granddaddy, well, what are we gonna do about that? Are we just gonna stay mad the rest of our lives? And so this book is important because it details a process of forgiveness that has worked. And I think this book is awesome. But, America seems to be getting crazy, so we just got to make fun of it. And so today I thought that I would let you know, I'll give you a list of what I believe are the next songs to be banned from the radio and from music stores because of just different things. And I'm going to tell you what they are, and I'm going to tell you why they're going to be banned. Okay, so these songs are going to be canceled. By Woody Guthrie, "This Land Is Your Land." No, it is not. It is not your land. This is the land of the indigenous people who were here first, and you stole it. This land is not your land, and so that song will no longer be played. "Close to You" by the Carpenters. Remember, they long to be close to you. That song will be banned because of COVID restrictions. Nobody can be close to you anymore, and that is promoting the ignoring social distancing. And so we can't ignore social distancing, and close to you should be banned. All right. Midnight Train to Georgia will be taken off Spotify. It will be taken off iTunes. It will be taken off the radio because they have checked in all surrounding states, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida, and there is not a single scheduled train arriving at midnight into Georgia. And so this is misinformation. And so this, because of misinformation, Midnight Train to Georgia will be banned from the radio. By Blondie, the song Heart of Glass. Okay, this is also misinformation because hearts are a muscle. They are a muscle. And if children believe that they are glass, there are many activities that they will not participate in because they would be afraid that they would break their heart of glass and that it would cut them from the inside. And so, because of misinformation, Heart of Glass by Blondie will be banned. All right, by the Commodores, Once, Twice, Three Times the Lady. The song Three Times the Lady would be banned because of gender equality. You cannot be three times a lady. Three times? This is horrifying. And so this will be banned because of gender equality. The song Bad, Bad Leroy Brown by Jim Croce. This will be banned because saying that brown is bad is obviously racist. So bad, brown, they can't coexist, and it's a racist song, so that will be banned. Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree by Tony Orlando and Dawn. That will be banned because of our environmental message about not littering. And if everybody's tying yellow ribbons around old oak trees, if everybody does that, what is this land, which is not your land, what is it going to look like? So tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree will be banned. Kevin Perkins says, please ban MacArthur Park. Well, you know, that could be banned because someone left the cake out in the rain. And I'll never find that recipe again. So maybe that should be banned just because of stupid words. Okay. Michael Jackson's song, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, will be banned because that is promoting looting. That promotes looting stores and trains and violence. Don't stop till you get enough. It's just wrong, and that should be banned. Night Fever by the Bee Gees. This will be banned because of COVID misinformation. There is no evidence of night fevers with COVID. There are all the time fevers, but not just night fevers. And because they are presenting a message of night fevers, this is misinformation and it should be banned. The song by the Beatles, Let It Be. Could there be anything worse for the youth of our country than a song promoting apathy? Just let it be. Just let it be. The song promotes a lackadaisical attitude among our youth, and it will be banned. You're the One That I Want, from Grease by John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. You're the one that I want. That will be banned because of sexual harassment. You're the one that I want. You don't need to choose one. You be open to all. Just open to all. You're the one that I want. No, that's wrong. It sends the wrong message. You're the one that I want. No. All right. By Billy Joel. Don't go changing to try and please me. That song is Just the Way You Are. That song is actually being banned because of a lawsuit that's offensive to plastic surgeons. Just the way you are. Yeah, don't go changing to try and please me. I like you just the way you are. It's offensive to plastic surgeons. They have filed a lawsuit in federal court saying that it will take away their livelihood. And because it is discriminatory to plastic surgeons, that song will be banned. Just the way you are. Janet Jackson's song Black Cat. That is being banned because of copyright infringement from a firecracker company. They're Black Cat firecrackers, and she can't have a song called Black Cat because those words are already copyrighted by the firecracker company. Charlie Pride's song Is Anybody Going to San Antone? That is banned because Spotify has a policy against advertising private services. And is anybody going to San Antone? He's obviously looking for a ride. He's advertising for a ride. And so Spotify is banning anybody going to San Antone because we can't have any advertising. The Elvis Presley song, Guitar Man. Now, Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora approached Elvis's estate to see if there could be a re-recorded version of Guitar Person instead of Guitar Man. But because Elvis's estate declined to do Guitar Person or to do another one called Guitar Woman and put it out side by side, that song will be banned. Seven Bridges Road by the Eagles. This is banned because of misinformation. Because a detailed study by Rand McNally shows that there are roads in the United States with 5 bridges, 6 bridges, 9 bridges, and 11 bridges, but there are no roads in the United States with 7. So 7 Bridges Road is being banned for misinformation. Now, here we have a whole bunch of songs that the American Mental Health Association has gotten together, and the American Mental Health Association has banned this list of songs: Crazy Girl by Eli Young Band, Crazy Town by Jason Aldean, Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, I Go Crazy by Paul Davis, I Might Be Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen, Crazy on You by Heart, and Crazy by Patsy Cline. That's the American Association for Mental Health is having those songs banned because they are offensive to people who are crazy. Okay. Dixieland Delight by Alabama. Dixie refers to the Confederacy. That's obviously racist. So Dixieland Delight will be banned. The night the lights went out in Georgia, that's banned because it's promoting vandalism by spreading misinformation about a high school prank involving a hydroelectric dam and a 55-gallon drum of dishwashing soap. The night the lights went out in Georgia. And that promotes, if they allow that song to continue, then there will be a night the lights go out in other states too. And so we can't allow that. That just puts violence in the minds of our teenagers, and so we can't do that. Bubba shot the jukebox. That obviously promotes gun violence, and we can't do that. So Bubba shot the jukebox. That's out. That's banned. And I think, is this the last one? I think this might be the last one. Luke Combs has a song. You know, he actually recently had a song that was number 1 and number 2 at the same time. But Luke Combs has a song. It's When It Rains, It Pours. And that is tied up in a lawsuit with copyright infringement from Morton Salt. And so Morton Salt is having that song, When It Rains, It Pours, having that song taken off the air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another episode of the Blue Plate Special, and we hope you have enjoyed our stupidity. We have a great time making fun of things that are just ridiculous. Kevin Perkins says, I have to do a disclaimer. I mean, what kind of disclaimer would I do? These thoughts are out of my control. Really? Are you serious?
I think so. Maybe they signed on after the beginning of it. I don't know.
Matt is monitoring the feed, the comment feed on Facebook, and Matt says a lot of these people think you're serious. We're not serious. But you know what? I guess, why wouldn't you think we're serious? Because these go right like that. I mean, are these any stupider than any of the things you've seen? We are kidding. We are kidding. Okay? But we might have given somebody some ideas. I mean, plastic surgeons might go after Billy Joel for Just the Way You Are. I mean, that is restraint of trade right there. I mean, that's offensive to plastic surgeons. Just the way you are. No, you should go changing. In fact, dial 1-800. Anyway, we're glad you joined us, and please join wisdomharbor.com. It's less than $3 a month, and way less than $3 a month when you get the year subscription. And please pass the word around, okay? This and a whole lot of great other things are happening on wisdomharbor.com. Wisdom, HARBOUR.com. And my wife is actually commenting, dear, I didn't know you were watching. Polly says, given this, I might want to sign off with the song Crazy. Yeah, I could. But Matt's, I'm not the boss of Matt. And so I can't, we established earlier in the show, I'm not the boss of Matt. So he can sign off however he wants. Julie and Gilly, hilarious. Glad you liked it. We will see you guys Tuesday.